Up first, Jack Cartwright is in action against another newcomer in Jesse James.
Let's head to the ring.
Introducing first, from Sacramento, California, weighing in at 185 pounds, Jack Cartwright.
Almost feel like we have to call the action for Jack Cartwright's entrance, let alone his match. This guy's all over the place.
And introducing his opponent from Gun Barrel City, Texas, weighing in at 230 pounds, the Western Roughneck, Jesse James.
A couple big powerhouses going to make their debut this week on Championship Wrestling, including this rough, tough customer out of Texas, Jesse James. A dichotomy of styles here in this fight.
Jack Cartwright's getting no favors. He continues to get tough competition, one after the other.
Who's gonna take my hat, huh?
That's true. Cartwright made his Championship Wrestling debut against Clark Connors, the young lion, gave him a real run for his money. He's had some very tough matches, including on pay-per-view against Robert Baines at Primetime Live. The 19-year-old gymnast going to have to stick and move. I don't think there's too many gymnastic teams over there in Gun Barrel, Texas, guys.
Certainly, Jesse James is the toughest hombre to come out of Gun Barrel City, but Jack Cartwright looks like he actually has Jesse James in a pretty promising position right. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, goodness.
Then there's that. And now using his agility is Jack Cartwright, but runs right into a big-time train coming down the tracks, and Jesse James there, Blake.
He was doing a good job of slowing Jesse James down a little bit initially at the beginning of that matchup with the headlock, but Jesse was just too big and manhandled his way out of it.
Gonna have to be elusive, and he's done just that. Nobody home for the senton. Can the youngster capitalize? Standing shooting star, and he's not done yet. Now the moonsault, Upset City, here we go. Maybe it's adjacent to Gun Barrel City, guys.
Beautiful attempt there by Cartwright. He's been getting pushed around a lot in his other matches, and he is coming out here and putting it all on the line very quickly.
Out of the way of that handspring back elbow, though, was Jesse James. Jesse James out. Oh, look out. You're never safe with this youngster. Suicide dive, but that fastball was coming across the plate, and Jesse James is swinging for the fences. Into the cover, 2 count. So much heart on display by Cartwright.
Cartwright, I spoke to him before the match. I asked, how are you going to fare against an opponent like this? So intimidating, a definitely huge, massive opponent. He said he's going to have to rely more on strategy as opposed to just flips. He said, this is really going to come down to being elusive. And we saw that in the beginning of the match, but now he's on the receiving end of some brutal chops from Jesse James.
He did a fantastic job of switching gears when he hurt Jesse early on. He's got to do something to change this momentum and then jump back on Jesse as soon as he's able to hurt him.
Well, talking about change of momentum, it was a sudden stop after that Irish whip. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and we saw it there in a painful way. Now the big right hands, haymakers, Sunday punches here by Jesse James. Not where you want to be with the Western Roughneck in the corner, where he can absolutely tee off. Momentum takes Cartwright right into that sidewalk slam, deep hook of the leg, but the kid continues to battle on.
Jesse James, such a fierce competitor. As you said, he hails from Gun Barrel City, but he trained out of the Santino Brothers dojo right here around Los Angeles. And this man, I've seen him in action. He has an astounding lariat that can just take a man's head off.
Boy, those chops, you can see a crimson red now on the chest. So those strikes are catching him hard and heavy, but now look at Cartwright go. You gotta love the fight in this kid, Blake. He never gives in.
I do. He is taking some tough competition, and this is another tough character, and he is taking it head on.
Oh man, right into that boot. Went for a dive, a splash perhaps in the corner. Didn't go well. Look at this vertical suplex, leaving his feet, putting Cartwright on his back. Cartwright, how does he find a way to continuously kick out?
You got to wonder, though, if the frustration is going to be starting to get to Jesse James. For all of his attempts, Cartwright is still kicking in this match.
He has hit Cartwright with a lot of shots in the corner. There's maybe 5 or 6 unanswered shots to the face. Cartwright is a tough cookie.
Now you got Jesse James is laying all that body weight on him with this rear chin lock, but back to his feet. Cartwright needs to create distance. If he's going to high fly, catch him with something quick, into the boot, quickly into the cover, and a sense of urgency there by Jesse James, which tells me he wants to put this thing away. He's not playing around anymore with Cartwright. He knows Cartwright's dangerous.
He's absolutely seen how dangerous Cartwright is. Every time Cartwright hurts him a little bit, Cartwright starts throwing some big damage. Jesse's been able to recover just in time to prevent some of these big attacks from doing more damage. Let's see what Cartwright's able to do right here. He hits the gas every time he's able to hurt Jesse James just a little bit.
Cartwright's beating him to the punch here, Alyssa.
And Cartwright had actually said that he wants to prove he's more than a twist, he's more than a flip. He's a wrestler, and he's here to prove it.
Well, he did a little bit of both right there. At twisting, head scissor, oh my gosh! What was that?
Gives the big man some air.
Part backdrop, part Northern Lights suplex. That would have really shocked the system of Jesse James. If somehow Cartwright could have held on to a bridge there, I think this thing could have been over.
Oh, Cartwright here to make an impact, but can he capitalize? No.
Just when I started to think Cartwright might be walking away with his first W here at the United Wrestling Network.
Look out here, there it is!
There it is.
Big time lariat. And that's gonna do it.
He took Cartwright's head clean off.
Welcome back to the studio. Jesse James with a good first impression. He makes it to the pay window in his first outing here on the program.